Have you ever had a neighbor so petty, so obsessed with fake power, that they would literally try to control the water you drink? Imagine waking up one peaceful morning, only to discover that your HOA's Karen president, yes, the Karen, decided you didn't deserve running water anymore. But here's the twist. When she tried to shut off my water, she accidentally unleashed a disaster. So massive it flooded half the neighborhood and cost the HOA thousands. And it all started because I watered my lawn at the wrong time. It was a calm Saturday morning. Birds chirping, sunlight filtering through the blinds, coffee brewing. I stepped outside to check my garden and there she was, Karen. Clipboard in hand, sunglasses like she was guarding the CIA, and that stiff upper lip that always screamed one thing. Trouble. Good morning, I said, already bracing for nonsense. You were watering outside approved HOA irrigation hours, she snapped. You are now on notice. Next violation will result in water restriction enforcement. I laughed. I thought she was joking. Water restriction enforcement? Who even says that? But her face, tight and bitter, said everything. This wasn't a warning. It was a promise. That afternoon, my water pressure started dropping. Shower barely trickling. Kitchen tap sputtering. Then, nothing. Completely dry. My first panic thought? Maybe a pipe burst. But when I walked outside, I caught her. Karen, crouched near my outdoor water valve with a wrench in hand like some wannabe utility worker. Hey, what are you doing? I yelled. She froze, eyes wide like a raccoon caught inside a fridge at midnight. This is HOA authority. You violated watering policy. I had to laugh. Karen, you don't control utilities, she huffed. We control compliance. Before I could argue, she twisted the wrench again, and suddenly, a deep rumble came from underground. Then a hiss. Then boom! Water exploded straight out of the ground like a fire hydrant geyser. It shot 5 feet high, blasting Karen backward and soaking everything. I just stood there stunned. Karen, screaming. My neighbor Tom, recording on his phone. Me, trying not to laugh while a literal river formed down the street. The HOA board would soon arrive. So would the city. And the bill? Oh, the bill was coming. Karen sputtered, drenched from head to toe, trying to scramble away from the mud like a cat tossed into a bathtub. The water just kept shooting, louder, stronger, like the earth itself was angry at her nonsense. Neighbors came out, one by one, staring in disbelief. Someone yelled, "Did she just break the main line?" Another voice answered, "She's finished." And deep down, I knew. They were right. It was only the beginning of chaos. Chaos. Pure, soaking chaos. The water was blasting out of the ground like a busted fire hydrant in a movie. People always say karma takes time. But that morning, karma arrived with water pressure and zero hesitation. Karen scrambled to her feet, slipping in mud. Mascara streaking down her cheeks like war paint melting off a defeated general. "Someone call the HOA emergency line!" she shrieked. Tom, filming the whole thing, smirked. "Karen, you are the HOA emergency line." Neighbors swarmed like curious. Pigeons around spilled bread. Mrs. Jennings, from down the block, marched up, shaking her head. "You touched his water valve? Are you insane?" Karen stuttered, trying to regain control, pointing at me like a villain caught monologuing too long. He violated watering hours!" HOA water policy clearly states, HOA doesn't own the water system, I cut in. City does. And you just broke a city main. Karen's face turned white, like sheet of paper, ghost on holiday white. But the water just kept roaring. A river cut through lawns, small garden gnomes floated away heroically, and little Timmy from next door squealed with joy as his toy boat set sail down our street like Noah's Ark, Suburban Edition. Sirens, then a city utility truck. 2 workers hopped out, staring at the aquatic disaster like they'd walked into an apocalypse caused by a bored suburban dictator. One worker muttered, "Oh, this is going to be expensive." Karen ran toward them, flailing. "I'm president of the HOA." This property was in violation. I was enforcing rules. The utility guy blinked. "Ma'am, did you personally tamper with this valve?" She puffed her chest. "Yes, as I am authorized." "No, you are not authorized," he replied flatly. "This is city infrastructure. You just ruptured a feeder line." Translation, she messed with the wrong wrench. Water finally shut off at the main street valve. Silence returned, except for Karen's dramatic gasp when she heard the next sentence. "We'll need the homeowner's info." He pointed to me. "And the person who caused the damage." He pointed directly at Karen. "Repairs could run 20, maybe 30,000. Karen squeaked like a deflating balloon. "The HOA will cover—" "No," another worker corrected. "The person responsible covers it." A collective neighborhood ooh rippled through the air. Even the birds paused like they didn't want to miss the show. Karen glared at me as if I'd betrayed her. "This isn't over." Oh, it was far from over, but not in the way she hoped. If you think Karen took accountability like a normal human being, think again. The next morning, she marched door to door, delivering official notices, like she was the sheriff of Pettyville. Each paper claimed the HOA would impose an emergency assessment to repair unauthorized homeowner, damage to the community water system. Translation, she wanted every homeowner to pay for her mistake. By noon, people were furious. Somebody created a neighborhood WhatsApp group titled Stop Karen's Madness. Messages exploded faster than a leaky pipe. Screenshots of her notice spread, and so did everyone's patience. Thin. Very thin. Tom, the guy who recorded everything, uploaded the flood clip to the group with the caption, "She broke it herself. Here's proof." Within seconds, neighbors were commenting, "She's lost her mind. She's paying for this, not us. Impeach her already." Someone changed the group name to Karen Gate. Honestly, it fit perfectly. By afternoon, we had what looked like a protest forming on my lawn. Folding chairs, snacks, a giant white poster someone brought that said, "Down with the wrench queen." Even kids were chanting, "No more Karen! No more Karen!" It was chaos, but hilarious chaos. Karen stormed down the sidewalk, clutching a binder like it was a holy text. "Everyone calm down! These fines are legal and necessary." "Legal?" Mrs. Jennings scoffed. "Honey, the city gave you the bill. Stop trying to spread your stupidity." Karen inhaled sharply like she was about to blow a whistle no one could hear. "You don't understand the burden of leadership," Tom shouted back. "Leadership isn't vandalizing water lines." Right as she was about to snap again, a city inspector pulled up. Clipboard, reflective vest, serious face. He approached Karen, ignoring the crowd. "Ma'am, following review of yesterday's incident, we're issuing a civil citation for tampering with municipal infrastructure. You'll receive full billing within 5 business days." Karen blinked, twice, 3 times. But I'm HOA president, and I'm the mayor of Mars," the inspector replied dryly. "Doesn't matter. Don't touch city property." The crowd erupted in laughter. Someone actually clapped. Karen's face turned the color of overripe tomatoes. Then the inspector turned to me. "Sir, thanks for reporting the incident, and for not doing what most people would have done." "What's that?" I asked. "Turn off her water in revenge." Trust me, I had thought about it. Instead, I just smiled, because the truth was clear. Her downfall was watering itself. The whispering crowd settled into smug satisfaction, neighbors bonding through shared annoyance, and somewhere inside her binder of imaginary authority, Karen knew she was losing control. The HOA board was crumbling around her like soggy drywall after a pipe burst. And the neighborhood? We were just getting warmed up. And me, retaliation was coming. 5 days later, the big moment arrived. The official city envelope sat in Karen's trembling hands at the emergency HOA meeting she called, because of course she did. She stood at the front of the clubhouse trying to look composed, but her voice sounded like a leaky faucet. "This community relies on order and obedience," she declared dramatically, as if she was delivering a State of the Union speech instead of defending her own stupidity. "I acted in the interest of preserving HOA rules. The city's bill, while unfortunate, should be shared amongst homeowners." A wave of groans rolled across the room. People crossed their arms. Some shook their heads. Tom whispered loudly, "Here comes the comedy show." Karen unfolded the bill. Her eyes widened. She blinked. Her jaw dropped. That dramatic pause? Worth every second. Then she read it aloud. "Total damages and penalties, $27,138.16. Someone whistled. Someone else muttered, "Ouch." A kid in the back whispered, "She's broke." Karen stammered, This will be covered by community emergency funds." "Nope," said the HOA treasurer, a mild, soft-spoken accountant who rarely spoke, but clearly had enough. "City paperwork says the responsible individual must pay personally. We cannot legally pay this," Karen snapped. "I am the HOA." The treasurer adjusted his glasses. "Not anymore. We held a neighborhood vote." My heart jumped. "Wait, when?" He continued. "As of this morning, you've been removed as president. Effective immediately." The room exploded in cheers. Someone actually popped confetti from where, I have no idea. Karen looked around, horrified, betrayed by the kingdom she once ruled with an iron clipboard. "You can't do this! I dedicated my life to this neighborhood." "Yeah," Mrs. Jennings replied, "and now you can dedicate it to paying for pipes." Even I almost felt bad for her. Almost. But then she pointed at me, furious. "You! This is your fault!" "Lady," Tom cut in, "you flooded the street because he watered flowers. Take the L." Karen stomped out, clutching the giant bill like a tragic character exiting a soap opera. The room burst into laughter, applause, and relieved sighs. Peace had returned. Waters receded. Neighborhood harmony restored. And the grass, happily watered. Fast forward 1 week. A new HOA president, friendly, normal, not unhinged, delivered welcome donuts to everyone. The group chat was renamed Calm Neighborhood Club, and me, I installed cameras on my water meter, just in case Hydrant Karen ever rises again. Because if she tries touching a valve now, she's not just getting fined, she's going viral. And every time I turn on my faucet and hear that steady flow, I smile. Not just because I have water, but because karma does not play around. If you enjoyed watching Karen's water flood disaster and her epic karma, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more HOA fails and Karen meltdowns. Who knows, next time a Karen might try to cut the power and end up in even bigger trouble.